Welcome back to another video on my channel, Logan Speed Shop. Today, working on the front of the car. So before the bay gets prepped for paint, we've got to make sure everything fits. So we've got the intercooler here. It's actually a Falcon upgrade, so I think it's 200 by 100 by 600-ish. So standard sort of length, but fatter and lower because I had the gap and the airflow. Just don't need the height. And this should work alright. I've had a bit of a play. See, I've already cut and dented a bit in there just so it fits. We'll get it jacked up. The main reason I am working with the intercooler today is I want to get the power steering sorted. And to mount that where I want, it's a bloody big unit, the Astra power steering, I want to put it in here, and the intercooler pipe runs up and right next to it. So I really want to get the pipe in place before I put the pump in, as it could just be a nightmare otherwise. So first things first, let's get this up, build a couple of brackets. I've welded a couple of mounting lugs on the top, and I'm going to use one of the 20 holes that are already in there to position the intercooler. It sits in there really snug, so I should only need the top two at the moment, and then I can knock out one side cooler pipe, probably just mask it, as that way will just give me the position. You never know, I might weld it. I do enjoy alloy welding at the moment, and I want to do a lot more of it. So even if I mask it for now, mark it, and I'll weld it later. But yeah, work this out. From what I can tell with quick dummy fit, I'll need to make that hole bigger, which I don't know if I'll just extend that one and join them together, as it might look tidier and it'd be easier just to use the grinder to cut it. But we will see. Get the intercooler up there and then work out how the pump's going to sit. Still got the guard liner in there at the moment, as that gives me a good indication of where the wheel's tracking, so I don't put the pump in the path of the wheel. Although the wheels will be a bit wider and the track distance will change, still give me a good idea. Well, that burnt my fingers a little bit, but got a intercooler bracket thing tacked in place on each end. Just some ugly welds to get it on there. You can see there on the bloody angle finder, 0.03, same as what's on the roof, same as what's on here. So it's sitting pretty square. Got a little bit of room on that side to fit a pipe under. Actually a bit more on this side, just the way the rails are. Just got a bit more clearance. So yeah, let's get a bit of pipe on this side. Probably won't get it tacked on, probably just get it taped on so we can work out how I'm going to fit this bloody thing in. It is cooking out here again today, so I'm just taking my time, doing it slowly. But we'll chuck the Astra pump onto the jack and hopefully make it fit shortly. Success, step one all done. Intercooler pipe masked into place. The bottom is actually marked out so I can weld it, but I don't want to do that on the car, so I'll take that off because it's got powder coated, this intercooler, so I'll clean that up that way I can. There'll be a flange go here, one of the HD Racers flanges. The top pipe still needs to be trimmed down, so you can see it doesn't quite sit where it needs to. This length's a bit long, but much of a muchness for mock-up. It's mainly to get the space here clear so I can get this bugger up. Looks like I've got the room at the back which I want for the pipes, so it'll probably sit on an angle about that. But let's get it jacked into place and then work out what I'm going to do with the hole at the top. Whew. Well, that's tighter than I gave it credit for. The body of the pump, the tank, wants to push against the pipe if I go higher, and I want to go back further, which I can't really without intruding on the wheel. I could take that back mount off, easy enough. The fittings are about where I want them to sit, but as I go higher it's going to intrude on the intercooler pipe, and I really want to get that lid back about 30mm, so I don't think that's going to be ideal. So next step, I'm going to chuck this headlight in, I'm going to chuck the bumper on, and I'm going to see what the space is up the front here. If I can move the pump further forward, clear the headlight, still be able to access everything, could be ideal. The fun play around, make it fit jobs. This is what I'm trying to do before the bay's painted. Well, it's really the only thing I've got to try and fit in, the hardest thing, but let's see what we can do. Got it sitting in position 2, which is also a fail. So it just looks bloody ugly. Could probably make this work, but I don't want to. not where I want it. At the moment it's kind of wedged between the headlight and the front bumper. Yeah, I got the headlight in. So I thought, bugger it, let's put the radiator in place. You can see I've already welded on the fittings for the pipes. This will still get painted black as well as the intercooler. But I'm thinking, can we go down there? This bar here, at the moment, I can see it's only tack welded, so it's not actually giving a lot of strength. It's just allowing mounting position more than anything. So I'm thinking we might put another bar instead of it and remove it, so we've got the space to put the oil cooler stool, and we can fit the power steering pump in there. Bit of a hot bugger to put in the middle, but so is the oil cooler, so much of a muchness really. But let's position this roughly, still have the bar in, and see what we can do. I think we might have a winner there. Obviously the bar's in the way. The top of the pump is hitting the radiator, and the bottom's sitting about 1.5 inches too low. But if we could get the extra height without the bar, we should be good there. The intercooler actually sits lower than the front bumper, which is annoying too, but when I can finally find a lip for it, that won't be an issue. And it is actually as high as it can go, otherwise the ends will hit the rails. But that's beside the point right now. Working on a power steer pump. So I reckon we're going to remove that bar, as it looks as if it's mainly just there for no real reason. Someone's going to argue that with me, but we'll have to put something else strengthful in there or somewhere else as well. We might go just even higher, but we'll work that out after the fact. There are a couple of other bars in the front here doing similar along with the Rio, so it's not the end of the world, and it is quite far forward. Fun. In saying that, I have removed this from another car as well, but we did put a different bar in. I'm just trying to work out any other options, but I reckon this is it. I really want to mock up the oil cooler as well, but my thoughts are, if I can get the power steering pump in, I can reposition the oil cooler, put that on a little bit of a slant behind the radiator, and just make up new brackets. Not hard to make brackets up, just hate myself for the extra labour I'm causing, but that looks like the position. Now to pull everything out and cut that bastard out. She's out. Bit harder than it needed to be and left some ugly marks. With the help of this little spot weld drill and a big hammer to shorten it. Basically put a bit of pressure here, took the pressure off the ends, and managed to wiggle her up. It's just destroyed now obviously. Only one place it's good for, and that's the bin. That's where it's going. But yeah, 4 spot welds on either end, and that's all that was holding it. So it wasn't doing a lot for structural rigidity, but I think what I'll do is I'll go a bar from here to here. That's the thoughts at the moment. I may change my position, and I'll probably just do a light plate or something to tidy that up. Definitely get the welder out there. But yeah, now obviously I've got no place for the oil cooler to live, but I've got plenty of room for the pump. So what I'm going to do is get the intercooler back into place, get the radiator back in, probably get the oil cooler back in, and then try and get this pump in, and we should be good. Hopefully then I can build up a basic bracket that'll hold the power steering and the oil cooler. Here's hoping anyway. I need to do a little bit more today and then take over again from this tomorrow as I'm sweating my balls off. We got a winner. Pump sitting up there the height it needs to be. So actually still be able to access the lid as well once the cooling panel's off. The fittings obviously I need to orientate it in a way they'll work, but that's easy enough as I just have to run over to there. Nice easy route for them. Oil cooler's just sitting down there on a jack. You can see the fittings there. This top one's going to be a bastard. I'm going to study Raceworks catalogue tonight, see if I can do some sort of adapter to there, and then run a 90 off that, and run a 90 from there. Should be easy enough as I'll move this over a little bit. Not sure if that'll sit vertical or at the same angle as the radiator. Much of a muchness really. Probably have to do a bit of alloy or something along the bottom just to make sure the air actually gets to the radiator, but these are jobs for later on. They're easy enough. Well, they're going to be a bastard, but they'll get done. I'm just happy everything fits in there. and that bloody bar's out of the way. Next I got to mount that, which isn't the end of the world. Got to work that out, and obviously the wiring as well. Day 2 and the welder's out. Got some weld through primer on the sections I removed the bar on. Got a couple of plates with weld through primer on the back, and I'm gonna chuck these bad boys down there, weld them on, and I've got a replacement bar there. Decided the replacement bar is going to mount everything, so I'm going to redo the intercooler mounts. The power steering mount will go off it, and the oil cooler mount will go off it. But first, let's get these welded in there fast. Use the dirty old MIG. Not looking forward to getting covered in splatter, but let's get these bad boys in there. Alright, skipped a few steps, but there we are. Power steering is mounted, oil cooler is mounted. I say mounted, they're tacked in position. And the big bloody bars in there. This bit went to shit on the top. You can see the plates welded in behind it. That was a bit of a fight as well, just past the skinny panel steel. But yeah, we've got everything in there. Now, we've got to pull everything out. Weld these in properly, weld them in properly. Got 2 bars holding the power steering, which should be enough. That's reasonably solid. Nothing hits each other. Definitely going to need some ducting on the bottom for the radiator. But yeah, let's get it all off and get everything welded properly so it's in there firm. Probably going to, although everything doesn't really need to go back in, I'm going to pull it out now, weld it all properly, chuck it back in, make sure nothing's moved, and then we're on to time for paint. But so far so good. Not the prettiest, but it'll work. Bit of paint on it. Don't know if this will get, I guess it'll get body colour. I was going to say, could end up with just bloody black, but the rest of the bay's getting painted, so I'll paint it too. Just got to clean a little bit up with the grinder. Got the flap disc on it over there. And then we'll make sure everything fits in there again. Yay! Just love putting things in to take them back out. And the next challenge will be working on the brakes.